I'm on day 20, 25 of my 4-day lockdown. And joking aside, no, I mean, there are no signs that, this lockdown, as a strict lockdown, meaning that I can't even leave my apartment, is going to ease anytime soon. The only thing I would say is like getting food delivered has become a little bit easier, but I think the overall situation is still pretty grim because the number of fatalities is rising. We had over 50 fatalities yesterday. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot for China. And also, like I said, the government is right now even imposing even more drastic restrictions, including like you mentioned, these fences and on some of these compounds where there are cases.
Why are the authorities erecting fences though? Is it because some residents are starting to rebel against the stay-at-home orders?
Well, I think that basically, the number of cases every day is over 20,000, and it's been pretty elevated over the last several days. And it doesn't seem like it's going down. So I think that the government is concerned that there are people who are sneaking out of their compounds. Are people rebelling? Well, I mean, definitely, if you watch social media like WeChat, I mean, there have been a lot of instances where people have been trying to show their unhappiness and frustration with all these measures by, tweeting a lot of, basically, I won't say anti-government, but a lot of angry messages about the lockdown, and they've been doing it in very subtle ways. So rebellion so far hasn't been necessarily protests per se in recent days. But if you watch social media, there's been a lot of anger and frustration.
Have authorities told residents how they'll make the decision to release you from lockdown? Do you know what it will take for you to be free? Is it 0 cases?
Oh, no, it's not 0 cases, because if that's the case, I'll be stuck here for another 542 years. Because what happens is if there's a case, then you revert back to day 0. No, basically they want to stop community spread. That's the metric they're looking at. You can still have cases, positive cases, in quarantine facilities and all that, but the idea is that there's no more community spread. We thought last week that was happening, but in recent days, the number of cases remains elevated, and the number of fatalities are jumping. So, no, we don't know when, but I'm hoping that maybe sometime after that, there's some holidays in early May, maybe after the long May holiday, there'll be some more easing. And it's kind of scary now because it looks like Beijing is kind of starting to experience what we've been experiencing over the past month.
And we are seeing reports in Beijing of panic buying. Is it likely that residents there are quite scared that their situation is about to mirror yours?
Yes, indeed. It's a city of 20 million, similar to the size of Shanghai. And they've heard all the horror stories about Shanghai. Basically, food shortages, people who test positive, and then they're still in their house, and then they test negative, and then still later on being sent to these quarantine facilities. So there's still a lot of these horror stories. So they want to avoid all that at any cost. But it seems that given the fact that Beijing, the number of cases has been rising quite a bit, unfortunately, it does look like they're doing a little target lockdown right now, right, in Chaoyang district, which is like the financial district of Beijing. So they're doing little targeted lockdowns. But we tried that in Shanghai. It didn't seem to work. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I can tell people in Beijing is, you buy another refrigerator, another freezer, and definitely get some more food. Because it seems like whatever they say, how long the lockdown is, you got to prepare for a much longer period, which is something that I didn't do and I regret.
And so officially, COVID-0 remains the goal?
Oh, the COVID-0 is a policy. Basically, that they want to nip any kind of broad-based clusters in the bud. So yes, and even at the expense, it looks like even at the expense of economic growth. And like right now, today, you have stocks and bonds and the Chinese yuan all like tumbling because everyone's concerned about the impact on the Chinese economy. So COVID zero is, they're not going to like let people walk around like what's going on in the West. I mean, yes, Omicron in some ways doesn't seem any worse than a cold, especially if you've been vaccinated. But China doesn't want to take that chance because there's still a lot of older people who are unvaccinated as well as young people, and they just want to avoid, seeing an increase in number of fatalities as we saw in the West. But it comes at a very heavy cost, to the economy and to society.
And so, just finally, is there a real move on then to get older members in the community vaccinated so that these targeted and often lengthy lockdowns don't need to be repeated?
Well, that's why I've been reading that the number of elderly has been in terms of getting vaccinated has been rising. But the problem right now is that we're all locked down. We can't really go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, obviously, if you're, if you're already in the hospital or you're in a quarantine facility, maybe you can get a shot, a vaccination. But most people are still stuck in their homes and they can't leave. So I don't quite understand how you're going to get more people to be vaccinated.
Now, just one final question. When are those May holidays that you're hopeful you might be let out for?
Oh, it's early May. It's like the May 1st holiday.
Okay.
It's about 3 days during the week. And then a lot of people just going to take the whole week off. So I'm praying that this is finally, maybe things will ease. Like I said, I don't think that it'll be the whole city, but it could be like some compounds and some parts of the city. Personally, like I said, I've been in lockdown and targeted and strict lockdowns since early March.